everyone, Scapegoat Stephen back with another video match report for Guild Ball. So this was round 4 of a Highlander event at Dice and Destiny in Canterbury, Kent, UK. So still using my Ratcatchers, this time end up into Vet, Boar, Butcher. Right, so Butcher's team going from the top to the bottom, you've got Vet, Gutter, Boar, Vet Boar, Princess, Boiler, Veteran Ox and Veteran Brisket. Coming down for the Ratcatchers, you've got Bonesaw, Piper, Squeak, Vet Graves, Pelage and Skulk. Now an unfortunate kick-off here with Brisket basically leaves the ball right next to Graves, so I just end up choosing to snap it to him. So going first, Graves is going to pass the ball to Pelage successfully, banking a point of momentum, and then he's going to go for a little bit of a jog to there. So Princess jogs. Pelage is going to pass the ball to Skulk, and then she's going to sprint over to there. Gutter will then jog, and what we realised at this point was actually 4th round, a bit of confusion. Darren accidentally used Route 1 on himself without targeting someone, so he then advanced towards Pelage. Skulk then sprints and passes the ball to Piper. Boiler sprints and tries to mark target Pelage but misses, tries to mark target Skulk but also misses. So Piper activates, he then will pass the ball to Bonesaw and I believe dodges Bonesaw forward 4 inches. Piper will then sprint and attack Veteran Gutter. He's just about got the range to get there. So he gets there, he buys an attack into her, he does a momentous double push to get her engaged by Pelage, does another momentous double push, and then does a momentous 2 to her. So I'm just trying to figure out where the optimum placing is, but in the end just decide to stay there. Veteran Ox will then activate, and he can't actually get to anyone, so he decides to sprint Veteran Ox to a central position for next turn. I activate Bonesaw. Bonesaw will do his little stamina jog, followed by his normal jog. He will meditation, then he will shoot with bonus time, and he will score a goal. So that puts it 0-4 to the Ratcatchers. He'll then dodge away, so he's out of threat range of Veteran Captain Boar. Veteran Brisket will activate after the kickoff. So there's an unfortunate scatter here. Actually, it puts the ball in the back end of that forest, as you can see at the bottom left of the screen. So Brisket chooses to go for the ball, just to try and keep it safe for the following turn. So she will sprint and acrobatics to go snap that ball round the back end of the forest, keep it safe from me. And Veteran Boar doesn't have anyone, Squeak will jog next. And Veteran Boar does not have anyone in range, so he just goes for a sprint into the centre of the pitch. So currently we have the Butchers are at their kicking momentum, and the Ratcatchers have their 4 momentum from passes and scoring. The Butchers play Seize the Initiative, and the Ratcatchers play Stick to the Plan. So I choose to dodge Pelage round Veteran Gutter. Meanwhile, Veteran Brisket dodges up to potentially put her close to the goal, although probably not in threat at this stage. So I'm looking at that big clump of men in the centre of the pitch, and I need to slow them down. So I'm going to use Pelage as a speed bump, because with empathy as well, they're not going to get much momentum off her. So I choose to, I believe, just go for a jog and start whacking Vet Boar. So I'm out of melee engagement with Boiler, but I am within 2 of Ox. So I hit all Ox, Boar and Boiler with my dilemma. So she'll do a momentous 2, a momentous tackle singled out, followed by a momentous 4, momentous 4 on Boar, just to get his health down, set him up perhaps for later turns. Then Boiler, Vet Boar and Vet Ox all choose Snared. So Veteran Ox will buy Berserk and start attacking Pelage. I'll declare a counter attack, because he does come close enough to me to allow it. He does a non-momentous 2 because of empathy, and my counter-attack does 3 damage because he's a man. He then does a non-momentous 1, a non-momentous 1, and a non-momentous 1, and then I take 3 from the lash out. Ox will then take 3 back from the Cloak of Rats ability. So overall I've just put 6 damage into Ox, so I'm quite happy with that, given that he's only done the same to me. So Piper's going to go. He will attack Veteran Gutter. He'll do a momentous double push, and then he will heal Pelage by 4. I will then legendary and choose my goal. I'll move my entire team, bar Pelage, because she's staying there as that nice speed bump I mentioned, and also take Veteran Gutter with me. So we're just basically trying to crowd out Veteran Gutter a lot, just to force her. Basically we'll just sort of cage up around her, generate a bunch of momentum off her, keep her for the takeout when I need her. So once all that's happened, I ask, does she want to come to me or do I want to come to her? She chooses for her to move, so I leave her where she is and then I jog to her. I will get a momentous double push, followed by a momentous double push, followed by a momentous 2, followed by a momentous double push, followed by a momentous 2. So not a huge amount of damage, but again it just sets Gutter up. So Princess will jog to engage Pelage. Bonesaw jogs to engage Veteran Gutter. Boiler jogs to engage Pelage. Does a momentous 4, although it's non-momentous because of empathy to her, followed by a non-momentous 3 and a non-momentous 3, and takes her out. So that puts the score to 2-4 in favour of the Ratcatchers, but it does leave Veteran Captain Boar kind of pinned in there with snared on him, again with not much momentum for the Butchers, because they just simply can't gain any apart from the takeout momentum for killing Pelage, which doesn't leave them a lot to either take off those conditions they are suffering. So Veteran Graves will attack Gutter, and he'll get a non-momentous knockdown, They Ain't Tough, followed by a momentous 2, and then he will heroic on Squeak. So it's just setting her up for later turns and setting Squeak up as well. So Brisket isn't in range to shoot the goal, so Darren takes the slightly tactical, just run down the flank route, keep out of range of as many people as possible, and sprints and dodges. Squeak's going to go next. He's going to attack Gutter. He's going to do a momentous 2, followed by a momentous Dreadful Shriek, followed by a momentous 2 and another momentous 2 on the wrap. So because I've got so many friends there, because she's knocked down, she hasn't got any armour, and he's got, I believe, more hit points than her, he gets the extra net hit, so we get quite a lot of damage into her, and as you can see my momentum's just racking up over there, and I haven't got anyone to heal because everyone is at full health, no one's suffering any conditions. But it gets the takeout, takes it to 2-6 in favour of the Ratcatchers. Boar is going to have to just sprint around his friends because he doesn't have any movement, or any viable targets I should say, and his movement is lowered by snared. So Skulk will just jog to engage Boar, just put a little bit more damage into him and get into that cover and engage him to prevent Furious as well. So Skulk will attack Boar with bonus time. He's a 2-1 because of snared, and we've got singled out on him. He'll do a non-momentous 1 on the wrap and a momentous 3 at the top end of the playbook. So going into turn 3, the Butchers have 2 momentum and the Ratcatchers have 11. So the Butchers play midfield general and I play fullback, so that's the cheaper charge from the edge of the pitch. Oh look, here's Pelage, she's back. So Pelage is going to go after Boar. So at this stage I'm thinking, can I take Vet Boar out, take the legendary off the table, take the Berserk off the table? You know, once he's off, the chance of him being able to effectively get back in the game are low. You know, he's got to get 2 turns worth of getting up there, unless he's got a card that increases his speed. So Pelage will charge for 1. He does declare a counter-attack. She gets the momentous singled out on the wrap and does a momentous 4. He counter-attacks and sadly only does 1 damage. I get a momentous dodge and a momentous 3 on my next attack. I then get a momentous dodge and a momentous singled out on the next attack, so I'm trying to generate the momentum instead of just straight up killing him. Momentous dodge on the wrap and momentous 4, which takes him out, which takes it to 2-8 in favour of the Ratcatchers. Again, that snared was probably really important there. The pulse isn't in range to do anything because I didn't dodge her round to be in range of Boiler. And oh, sorry, no, Boiler chooses snared again, and he's already snared. She does then heal herself 4-4. Princess jogs to skulk. Piper he thinks about charging, but in the end decides to sprint round Princess's engagement range to block Boiler from getting into skulk. He then buys an attack. Heroics even, to push Boiler into engagement with Pelage. Buys an attack, does a single momentous push, and then does a momentous double push. It doesn't get any damage into Boiler, but again, it's generating that momentum. Veteran Ox will charge Skulk. I will defensive stance and poised for my counter attack. He manages a single momentous damage, and the counter attack does a 2 damage. He then attacks me again and does a momentous 2 damage, and then lashes out and actually hits Piper, Pelage and Skulk, but does then take the 3 damage from Pelage as well. So there's a lot of that usefulness of Pelage coming into play here. She's getting off the various damages when people end engaging her. She's doing a lot with that snared at the moment. Basically, I think she's my MVP in this game. So I'm going to activate Graves. He's going to heroic on Squeak, then he's going to jog to engage Veteran Ox and attack him. Chooses the knockdown, They Ain't Tough, which puts him to a 1-0, I think, at this stage. I then spend 2 momentum to heal Pelage by 4, just to keep her going. Boiler activates. He deliberates over who to attack, and then eventually chooses Piper. Just does a knockdown. After I think I declared a counter attack. He then manages a 1 damage, followed by a momentous 2 and a momentous 3. So he then takes the 3 damage from ending his turn engaging Pelage, because he didn't want to walk out and take the parting blow that would have occurred. So Skull will go for a tiny jog just to engage Boiler. He clears conditions on Piper, just to stand him up. He then buys an attack on Ox and gets not a single one, so it all hits. So he manages to do a momentous 3 and a momentous double dodge to disengage himself from Princess. And then he buys another attack on Ox and manages to get a 1 damage on the wrap and a momentous 3 at the top end of the playbook. So Veteran Ox at the moment is not looking particularly happy. So Veteran Gutter uses an activation just to jog. My opponent doesn't really want to bring Brisket into the fray just yet, with the chance of her then being beaten up. Bonesaw will stamina jog and Squeak will tag along. He then goes for a jog to engage both Boiler and Ox and chooses to attack Boiler, and just wails on him and does loads of non-momentous damage just to again build up that reservoir of damage into Boiler. Again, no momentum for it, but it's setting it up. So it attacks Boiler, does a non-momentous 2, a non-momentous 2, a non-momentous 1 and a non-momentous 2, and that leaves Boiler in a pretty bad state right now. So Darren decides he's got to go for the goal, needs to get in there, score something. Veteran Brisket sprints and shoots, and she scores it. So that takes it to a 6-8 in favour of the Ratcatchers. But we have got 2 Butcher's models sat there looking in not the healthiest of ways. Especially Ox being knocked down and They Ain't Toughed. And Squeak yet to go. And I believe Ox has 4 gang ups. Or I have 4 gang ups when attacking him. So the kick scatters and is snapped by Bonesaw. Squeak then goes into the 2-0 Ox and buys an attack. He's got more HP, so he gets the +1 net hit as well. He manages a momentous 2 and a wrap to the momentous 2. and then does another attack and gets the non-momentous 1 to take out Veteran Ox. That's 2 takeouts for Squeak if anyone's counting for this particular match. Takes it to 6-10 in favour of the Ratcatchers. So the Butchers play Grudge Match. So it's currently 4 momentum for the Butchers, 8 for the Ratcatchers. The Butchers play Grudge Match. I didn't write down what the Ratcatchers took. Apologies. But essentially it's not hugely important at this stage. I believe Boiler has 3, maybe 4 health left. And I choose to single out Boiler because he's a 3-1 and Pelage will finish him. I debate whether or not I should take the goal here instead, but decide the safer option is just to beat on the singled out with, 3 gang ups, Boiler, so it gives me 5 additional dice. Pelage will attack him, he's got 4 HP, she gets the 10 dice, she gets a momentous 4 and a non-momentous 2 on the wrap, which is a takeout, which seals it at 12-6 to the Ratcatchers.